phenomenal players to get here. However, maybe this task could be just a little bit too much. You've got to look at the run that MS Dasari had. He took down F2 Tex in his console final. Tex, who was one of the favorites for the tournament, an incredible console final that was. But the confidence that Dasari is going to have coming into this game off the back of that win is really showing now.
Maestro then has been able to pierce through the defense of Dasari a few times, and maybe it's the strength of R9 Ronaldo that could bully him back into a position to maybe create a chance. But again, Dasari fighting back in that tackle and managing to win the ball back, and now you're seeing a few mistakes start to come in from Maestro as well.
In a game that, of course, as was explained by our wonderful analysts, both of these players have already achieved 1,500 Global Series ranking points, but it's for that money now, it's for that pride. $50,000 available to the winner. It's still $30,000 for second place. That's not so bad too, but we know full well that all these players wanting to make a living off of FIFA. Both of them only 19 years old as well, Mark, so a very bright future ahead for them in the FIFA seasons.
Dasari, David De Gea comes up with a big save.
A slight mistiming again on the finish though. Just shooting a little bit too quickly, not getting it perfect. It might have gone in if he had hit it green. However, it didn't, and he still finds himself searching for a goal. And we'll get some substitutions now and some changes for both of the players. Maestro's going to have to start looking to get even more attacking, which is going to open up his defense and allow Dasari to kind of run rampant a little bit in this tight. But also this pause means that Dasari can also bring on some fresh legs. You see the likes of Eusebio, the likes of Pele on the bench just waiting to make an impact. And we know they have made an impact time and time again in these tournaments.
They certainly have, and they're fantastic foot items to have on your bench to bring on as those impact substitutes. And Maestro wins the ball back here. If he can pick up a goal or two before the end of this game, it will fill him full of confidence, and that's a raking ball downfield here, and there is this chance here, but oh no! I think Maestro will want that one back again, and I'm pretty sure he won't want to see it again.
His body language is saying it all as well, just slumping back in his chair because he knows he needs to be taking these chances on his home console, on his preferred console. It's going to be even more difficult when he moves across to the Xbox for the second leg.
Well, here's Ronaldo, there's one Elastico, make it two, and I mean, he wasn't allowed to make it three because Marcelo drops him to the floor. And there's a chance from the spot here for MS Dasari to make this five and really make this a mountain to climb. Pele steps up, and at least Maestro keeps that one out. But on the follow-up, Pele gets it to Hullet, De Gea with another save, and he keeps it out. Ronaldo, there is the fifth.
And even Dasari knows it's a bit of an ugly goal, but it's gone in the back of the net. It's rubbing salt in the wounds at this point. And I wonder if Dasari's already starting to think about that name being carved into the trophy for a third time, or is there going to be some sort of revival from Maestro? We saw how he had his semi-final. When he was down, he looked out, he looked like he had nothing, and then suddenly he exploded. He revitalized himself, and he looked like a different player. He needs to find that same form again to have any sort of chance in this final now.
He needs to find something, and he needs to find it quick, because Dasari is just looking so dominant at the moment. Still 15 minutes left to go in our first leg. And even little moments like that, after Maestro manages to get the ball back, he just gives it straight back to Dasari. Here's Ronaldo, onto his right. De Gea makes the save, and Maldini will have to scramble clear.
Thankfully, Maldini's there to save face, because Maestro at this point, it's just damage control. He's just not going to want Dasari to go into this second leg with a 6, a 7, 8 goal lead, dare I say it. Maestro just needs one just to give him that ounce of hope to say, look,
he needs a breakdown, I think.
I can score. But at the moment, Dasari's just looked solid all around the pitch.
I think he needs that full-time whistle to go right now and just reassess the game plan, moving towards the second leg. Eusebio, nice little turn, Cricketta, and a few skill moves linked together. Here is the chance now to boost the confidence.
Oh.
But De Gea makes the save.
I mean, he's done everything right. He's timed it green. He was going the right way because he saw the goalkeeper movement from Maestro, but just not able to put it in the back of the net. Decent save.
Well, here's Ronaldinho then for Maestro. Hullet can't quite compose himself on the edge of the box, and now Dasari's just going to stream away again and really look to add insult to injury. R9 powers past one. Into the box now, and Varane has to make a vital interception there for Maestro.
And I don't think it matters if you're a Dasari fan, a Maestro fan, or a neutral. You just want to see Maestro get a goal here. You feel like he deserves at least one at this point with some of the chances he's had, but just in front of goal, he's not been able to find that form. He's not been able to find the incredible shots that we've seen throughout the tournament. But maybe he can grab one in the dying moments of this first leg.
Vieira striding forward then. Ronaldinho, who has made a difference since he's come on the pitch, but MS Dasari has been absolutely sublime in this first leg of action. Maestro's been hit by a whirlwind from the Saudi Prince, but maybe there is a chance here towards the end of the game. CR7 to Mbappe, but Sergio Ramos just steps in, collects the ball, and that will be the full-time whistle going now at the end of our first leg. MS Dasari, what a performance from him.
An absolutely phenomenal one. He is the E-World Cup champion. He is our current champion. He looks like he might be a FUT Cup champion.
We'll be back after the break now for the second leg, and Rachel Stringer will also be catching up with the players to see how they're feeling.
Welcome back to the grand final of the FUT Champions Cup April. We are in the middle of the cross-console final. It is Vitality Maestro taking on MS Dasari. We've played the PS4 side of things first. Dasari is winning that leg at 5-0. He flipped the coin. He chose to go first on the PS4 side of things, but he's good on both consoles. He kind of says this is like his home. His parents live here, even though he is obviously from Saudi Arabia. So he's now going onto the Xbox side of things, where he excels as well. Then we have Vitality Maestro. What is he going to do in this Xbox leg? He's not currently sitting in his chair. He's probably gone backstage, talking to his team, looking into himself, finding something, trying to find something to get himself back into this game. MS Dasari, he's also not there, but he'll be more confident. He won here back in December at the FUT Champions Cup. He's been tweeting out all on social media saying he is the king of the jungle. He wants this. He's beaten Tex. He's beaten F2 Tex, who we're all saying is the special one. He's the one in control of the FIFA game at the moment. The crowd are absolutely loving it here. We're all loving it. It's been such an exciting, yet dominated by MS Dasari first leg on the PS4. We can't wait to see how this second leg unfolds. To take you through this one, it is Mark Hatcher and Dan Gaskin. Can't wait.
Welcome along, ladies and gentlemen, and it's time for our second leg now of our grand finals here in London at the FUT Champions Cup. MS Dasari with a dominating 5-0 performance in the first leg. And what makes it even more impressive, Dan, please tell us.
I mean, it's on the PlayStation. He flipped the coin. He chose to play PlayStation first. It's not his home console, which means now on the second leg, he's playing on the Xbox, which is what he's used to. And Maestro is going to be on his away console, and that is quite scary considering he's just lost 5-0. I mean, I'm worried for Maestro, if I'm honest.
I believe in Maestro. I think there's a comeback on the horizons here. Something's brewing in the waters here in London. We've seen him do it before, but this would be one of the greatest comebacks we've seen in recent times because of the caliber of player that Vitality's Maestro is going up against. Normally when you say in the earlier rounds, you know, you make a comeback, fantastic stuff, brilliant. But this guy, he is special.
I mean, he would have to break a lot of records to win this game. Not only would he have to make one of the best comebacks of all time in any match, let alone a grand final, he would also have to be the first ever PS4 champion on the FUT Cup as well. But also, he's got to try and beat Dasari in a grand final. Not many people can say they've done that because Dasari is our reigning world champion for a reason.
And he's currently 5-0 up halfway through our grand final after the first leg. Of course, just to repeat, 2 legs of FIFA action to bring you guys at home, and it will be the aggregate score. And if we're tied up after those 2 legs, we will go to extra time and penalties. But the way this is looking at the moment, Dan, Dasari very firmly in the driving seat.
I'm sure Maestro would take extra time and penalties at this current moment, but all he's got to focus on is trying to get through this brick wall defence that Dasari has seemed to have built on this FIFA pitch, because at the moment he looks like he is really in cruise control, but he's also been pushing forward. He's been looking for more goals. He doesn't just want a simple win, he wants an emphatic one.
Well, this might be the perfect start for him. The first shot again coming in from MS Dasari. Deflected behind for a corner in towards that front post. You can see 2 players challenging for that ball. And Maestro does deal with the early pressure here from Dasari, something he is known for, Dan.
He does like to pressure his opponent, but it didn't really work out too well in the first leg. But now in this second leg, he just needs the opening goal to give him that little bit of a lift, to give him the belief that he can actually get back into this tie. However, you've got to feel like if Dasari gets a 6th, surely that should be good night for Maestro. But I've seen stranger things happen in this tournament thus far, so you can't rule anyone out.
Well, here's Neymar going out wide here to Ronaldo. Couple of fake shots, heel to heel. A ball roll and a drag back, and that's a great ball into Eusebio. He gets a little bit fortunate with the ball falling back to him. But there is the 6th goal now. But it's actually not, because the linesman has put his flag up. And luckily for Vitality's Maestro, he gets a little bit of a lifeline here.
Yeah, that could have been all over already. 10 minutes into this second leg if we had seen that 6th goal go in, but a little bit of fortune for Maestro anyway. I think he needed it. And now as he's going forward, can he actually find anything? Can he find a goal? He's tried to approach passing through the middle of the pitch. I think he needs to go wide and try and break into the box if he's really going to find a goal.
Well, here's Eusebio then coming forward for MS Dasari. And you can see now, top right-hand side of your screen, a pause cued here by Vitality's Maestro. And that means tactical changes are on the horizon. That means a more aggressive formation needs to be brought out. Maybe some more attacking flair to the pitch as well, Dan.
Yeah, there's two ways this could go. He goes to something like a 3-5-2.
Or he could quite comfortably go 6 behind here, but he makes a last-second tackle.
And if he goes for a 3-5-2, it can go one of two ways. Either he can get some goals back, he can get back into this, or it's just going to mean Dasari is going to have more room to go at Maestro. He's going to find more space behind those defenders, have more chances, and this could be 6, it could be 7, it could be 8. So that's something that Maestro will also have in the back of his head. Do I want to go and try and win this grand final, or do I want to just try and get a respectable scoreline? We know what Maestro's like. He will want the victory. He's not just going to sit back and allow this to be an easy game for Dasari. He wants to take it to him here.
Yeah, he wants to do something special here in London. He wants to write a story that everyone's going to remember for a long time coming. Not only to beat MS Dasari, but to come back from 5 goals behind to pull off one of the greatest comebacks of all time. That's the kind of mentality you have to have in these situations. To beat such a great player as the Saudi Arabian, but again, Dasari's defence has just been absolutely exemplary so far.
Yeah, Maestro's just not been able to get that final ball that he's been searching for. He wants that through ball, he wants that penetrative through ball so he can have that first-time shot on goal. But he hasn't been able to get it, and he's almost running out of ideas going into this second leg. Maybe at half-time, between these two legs, he spoke to his coach. He might have got a little bit of advice, but he still seems to be struggling to try and break through.
Well, here's Vieira then, coming forward for Dasari, looking for that 6th. Pull it now on the edge of the box. Neymar, 5-star weak foot, can hit him on either side, and he's being allowed to just drive towards goal there without too much pressure. Coming in from Maestro, and having won the ball back there, Maestro just gives it away almost immediately.
Well, he's still got so many players behind the ball. He's still playing relatively defensively at this point. I kind of want a more aggressive formation, so I have players waiting on that halfway line, waiting for that counter-attack to lob it up to him, but he just doesn't have it available because he's still defending.
Well, here's Cristiano Ronaldo, Ruud Gullit on the edge of the box, trying to drive it out wide. You saw the space for Kylian Mbappe, but again, Dasari just steps in before Maestro can even begin to think about going forward and just snuffs out the danger.
There's just no space in the midfield. At the moment, Dasari's formation is just counteracting Maestro's. He needs to switch to something a bit wider to give him space on those wings so he can actually try and get a counter-attack.
Well, Dasari's just controlling the pace of this one at the moment, almost playing with his food. At this point, 5 to the good. And finally, Maestro manages to wrestle the ball back. Around 15 minutes in-game until half-time, and that's a heartbreaker there. And that's a sign of a player who's not playing with a lot of confidence here. And it's not surprising when he's been put to the sword like he has from MS Dasari.
And it's obviously showing the sheer difference between these two players.
And here's Mbappe towards Ronaldo. Marcelo has to close that space down, which forces the shot over the bar there from MS Dasari. It's always a surprise when there's any kind of opportunity for MS Dasari to not see it perfectly timed or finding the back of the net. And that one sailed over. Vieira now again just gets dispossessed so easily, but he keeps it alive here. Maestro with a chance, finally forces the save out De Gea.
He has got a corner as well. Maybe this is where he can find his first goal. He might knock it short, which he does. So many players do this now. They flick it up, look for that back post. Eusebio, thankfully, is there to defend, but still possession, unfortunately turned away, but it's pretty ping-pong at the moment, Mark. And this has been a game where we knew Dasari wanted to prove a point. After his loss a couple of weeks ago to a PlayStation player in an LQE final, that player was Nicholas. He wanted to show that he's not going to be turned over easily in these cross-console finals. And Vitality Maestro was the best PS4 player at this tournament. Nicholas was here as well, so it's not like Maestro just got here because Nicholas wasn't. Maestro deserved his spot as the PS4 champion, and Dasari is currently ripping him to shreds.
But Dasari's coming forward once more here with Mbappe. Looking for that 6th goal. It's the only thing he doesn't have going for him at the moment. As we approach the half-time whistle, at the end of the first half of our second leg here, Maestro needs a goal, and he needs it now. There's only so much time left in the game to even create these chances, but the linesman's flag will be raised. And that just means possession as we tick into that 45th minute. We'll go back to Rogues MS Dasari.
Dasari, who won has won so much here in London. I mean, he is at home. He said his parents are here. He feels at home. He feels comfortable, not only in this arena, but the E-World Cup last season was in London as well. Just seems to be something about this place which helps him in his victories, it would seem.
Well, he's looking for another one just before half-time here. Mbappe into Neymar. You saw the space that Ronaldo had. But he wasn't able to just sneak that pass through the defences of Maestro there. And at the break, it is 0-0 in this particular game. But the aggregate score is the important one. And it is MS Dasari who still has that 5-goal advantage.
Yeah, and Dasari just taking a look at any necessary changes he might feel. He's actually going to get his strikers just to join the defence there by saying, all right, well, even though I have the 5-0 lead, even though there's only 45, I still respect my opponent enough that I still need my players to come back and defend. But for Maestro, I really feel like he needs a formation change. He needs more width, and he needs to stop giving the ball away in those positions. It looks like he's just been deflated here by Dasari, and that's what Dasari does so well. He just takes the confidence out of players by pummeling them into the ground, as he has done in this grand final.
Well, here's Maestro then. He's looking for any kind of chink in the armour here of Rogue's MS Dasari. At the moment, he's coming up with nothing. But maybe a goal can change that. Funny what a goal can do, but again, the positioning of the players here from MS Dasari on the defensive side is so good that Maestro can't even really get out of his own half.
I think that is worth pointing out. Even though there's a lot of wayward passes and it looks like it's a lot of mistakes from Maestro, it is MS Dasari who's forcing those mistakes by positioning his defenders in very awkward spots for Maestro to try and get around.
Well, here's the Eusebio then on the attack then for Dasari once more. Marcelo tries to find the ball inside to Hullet. Finally, Hullet will receive that ball. The drag back just shows enough of it to allow Maestro to win the ball back. And now Neymar links a couple of skill moves away, and now Maestro might be in behind, but there's Rio Ferdinand. Just when some danger was looming there for Dasari, he just quite simply steps in and says, I'll have that back, thank you very much.
I just feel like Maestro's kryptonite is players like Dasari. Maestro likes to play this quick passing game, and he doesn't have loads of skill moves to work with. He isn't a big skiller, and what I mean by that is he doesn't really attack defenders and try and beat a man individually. Instead, he goes for like 1-2 passes, etc., and through balls. But because Dasari is so good at defending against players who play that passing game, Maestro's really, really struggling to get any sort of shots on target.
Approaching the last half hour then in our grand finals here at the FUT Champions Cup in London. And it's been one-way traffic in the favour of MS Dasari, and he's coming forward once more, and this is where time management starts to become a factor, Dan. Just running that clock down, not taking any unnecessary risk. Even at 5-0, this is the championship mentality of Dasari.
Yeah, he is going to be more than happy if he draws 0-0 on the Xbox, on his own console, because he already got the job done in leg one.
Well, he might make it 6 here. The drag back from Ronaldo. He's twisting, he's turning. And it's a last-second tackle from Maestro to keep the clean sheet in this leg. Neymar now with the cricketer. And a drag back, flicks it up towards the back post. Hullet's there, but he can't make contact with that ball.
But again, look, he wins the ball, Maestro, and there's no players there to play it up to. He has to go back, he has to be patient, which is also good. At least he's recognising that he can't play those balls instantly. He has to play it around the pitch before he can get it up to his strikers, to his central attacking midfielders. But it's just instant pressure from Dasari, time and time again, with Hullet, with Vieira, lunging into those tackles, not giving Maestro any sort of time on the ball whatsoever.
And now you're going to see Dasari just using those little triangles at the back, using his centre-backs to spread the play across the pitch, much like he is now, and try and drag those players, those defensive players of Maestro out of position. Mbappe now into Hullet. Ball back to Mbappe. Eusebio turns his man, tries the snapshot again. Now you just think at this point, with only 20 minutes left in game, and the way that the game has kind of evolved and been so heavily in the favour of MS Dasari, this might have just been one step too many for Vitality Maestro.
And maybe a little bit of respect from Dasari as well, by kind of playing the ball around, by using that time management a bit to say, okay, I know Maestro is a very good attacking player. I needn't go all out and give him any sort of chance, any sort of hope in this game, so I'm just going to play the ball around, kind of frustrate my opponent. He did say they're good friends coming into this, so we know there is respect on both sides.
Well, here's Neymar then for Maestro. Ball across here to Cristiano Ronaldo, the scoop turn out of his feet. Almost created the opportunity for a shot. But again, Dasari defending so well. And that's been the most impressive thing, in my opinion, about Dasari this tournament. Defensively, he has been superb. And I don't mean putting players behind the ball. I mean the way he has attacked his opponent when they have the ball.
Dasari has been a player who goes through phases of different styles of tactics and almost gets a sixth goal there with this different style that we're seeing at this tournament. He adjusts to every different iteration of FIFA, to every different meta that evolves in certain games of FIFA, and he seems to have found a perfect point now here in FIFA 19.
Neymar will just take the ball out of play, unfortunately, there with that fake shot from the corner. 13 minutes to go here before MS Dasari once again puts his name on a trophy. And you have to wonder, is there going to be a consolation goal in this for Maestro? He has had a phenomenal tournament up until this point. Reaching the grand finals, the cross-console finals, as Neymar almost gets in position to release a shot. But again, Dasari just closes the space down. Uses the offside trap to catch his opponent off guard. He has been so good at that.
He has been so good, but you are right. We do need to give so much credit for Maestro to get this far, to get to his first cross-console final in FIFA 19. He secured himself so much Global Series ranking points. He's earned the respect of all of his fellow PS4 players, and he is a player we will see at the playoffs. We will most likely see at the E-World Cup as well. Remember the name Maestro, because this is not the end of him just yet.
And one name nobody is going to be forgetting is that of MS Dasari. He's reminded us all just how good he is here in London. The battle before this game was with F2 Tex, the man who had won 6 championships. Back-to-back championships before this tournament, and Dasari took him down. Maybe there's one for Maestro here, and there is. It is a consolation. There is somewhat of a smile underneath that face, but I think he knows in this final he has been well and truly beaten.
Somewhat of a positive. He's winning the second leg on his away console on the Xbox against Dasari, so at least he can take that away from this grand final. But it is all about Dasari. This tournament has been about Dasari. Is he the greatest of all time? Is he better than Tex? And you know what? He's answered any critics at this tournament. He won in Manchester in 2018 in the FUT Champions Cup. He won in London in December for FIFA 19. And then it looks like he's going to get his name carved into that trophy again for his 3rd FUT Champions Cup here in London.
And Dasari is not letting up here. He's coming forward once more. Is there another goal to really cap off this champagne performance from Rogue's MS Dasari? Eusebio out to Mbappe, heel to heel, add another one inside the box with the drag back. Dasari showing that he's got the skills to pay the bills as well, and Vieira now joins the attack as well. Mbappe for a potential championship winning goal. But unfortunately for MS Dasari, he can't quite cap off what has been an incredible performance with an incredible individual goal.
And with just seconds left, MS Dasari will be your champion here in London. An incredible performance in this final. So many questions asked about him. Is he the greatest of all time? Who knows? But I'm very proud of him.
Well, give it up one more time, ladies and gentlemen, in the Gfinity Arena. The champion here in London once again is Rogue's MS Dasari.
What an amazing result and performance by one of the world's best players. And we're going to break it all down and do the trophy presentation right after this break.
Welcome back to the FUT Champions Cup April, presented by PlayStation 4. We have our winner just before the break. We saw him do the deed and win the cross-console final. Let's give him his moment to lift his trophy. The 3 times FUT Champions Cup winner, the reigning world champion, and maybe, just maybe, the best to ever play the game. The Saudi Prince, it's Rogue MS Dasari. Magical moment, the Prince lifting his trophy, thoroughly deserved, fantastic performance. MS Dasari, well done. How do you feel?
It's really feel amazing to be back on the top and winning a huge majorship again. So I'm really happy. Mostly I'm really happy about my performance. I've really done well on the PS4 side, so I'm really happy as well.
You're going to get your name engraved on there once again, 3 times more than anyone else, I think. Actually level with Tex, perhaps. Speaking of Tex, you're catching him up on those points. Do you feel like you want to catch him up on the Global Series points, or is it all about what happens at the Grand Final?
I think mainly it's more about what happens in the Grand Final. Mainly I should now enjoy my victory. It's been a long time, let's say.
And $50,000 as well, of course. Happy about that, surely?
Of course. Should I?
Listen, this guy's got a massive smile on his face. It's infectious. Congratulations to you. Enjoy your moment with the trophy. Enjoy your moment with your fans. Take it away. Thank you very much for watching the FUT Champions Cup here, guys. That's it for this broadcast, but if you want to see what happens in the post-show, including more chat with this guy and other people, you can join us on twitch.tv/EA Sports FIFA. Thanks from me and everyone on the team. See you soon. Don't go changing.
Saudi Arabia's MS Dasari taking on France's Maestro.
Oh, wow! What an opening that is for MS Dasari. 2 now! Ronaldo's at the back post! And it's 3 now for Dasari.
Eusebio has found that ball in behind, and he's just picking him apart, but at least Maestro keeps that one out. There is the fifth. The champion here in London once again is Rome's MS Dasari.
You're the starter staring back up in the mirror. It's special when you stand out from the rest. When you know that you're the best.
Welcome, everyone, to London for the PlayStation post-show for the FUT Champions Cup here in London. I said that twice, yeah. I'm so excited because we're sitting next to the champion. I'm a little bit nervous. I'm Jimmy Conrad, Spencer Owen, Kyle Walker, and our champion, Emma Stasari. How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling extremely happy because I'm top in the game, and let's say it's been a long time.
It's been a long time. Now, you completely dominated in that first leg, not on your console. Now, I know you're very familiar with PlayStation 4, but what were your thoughts going into that? Did you think it was going to be such a big scoreline?
That's making me really happier because I have Venetians and I'm playing on PS4 as well. So I went 5-0, but let's say Master has a chances. If he scores, that game will be a close. But I went to the Xbox game, let's say, to end the game.
Of course.
Now, listen, we spoke at the start of the weekend, and you're putting it out there that you felt it was all about the grand final, and if Tex didn't win that, then I think you said no one would kind of think about him because it'd be all about who wins the grand final, of course, the World Championship, which you've won before. Forgetting that for now, thinking about this event, have you put yourself back on top in the current situation? Because I think before this tournament, you maybe disagree, but most people would have said Tex was the best player in the world at this current point in time. Have you just put yourself back on top?
I think so because I've beat him twice today. So now I'm 3-2 against Tex. So I think so, and I should be. But it feels good to be the king of the jungle.
Oh, now, you're saying you're the king of the jungle. My question to you is, when are we going to see you focus on the PlayStation side so we can see you versus Tex in the cross-console finals? That's what we want to see.
I'm good. Next week, maybe with the Nations. Why not?
All right, so now, how much confidence does this give you going into the E-Nations Cup? And now you're working with a teammate, so it's a little bit of a different format. We could argue that you'd be carrying him on your back at the moment.
Now Royal's really good with it.
No, I know he is. I know he is.
But let's say I've been a lot of pressure, especially after my tweet. Everyone, let's say, not my fans obviously want me down because they can retweet it again. So I've been under a lot of pressure and it gave me a lot of confidence. And I think the most thing I'm happy about is my performance, not really the trophy. I think that's the only thing. I've said it with Spencer that I want E-Nations so badly.
Let's talk about your actual play style and how you play in games, because, you know, some people have a very specific play style, some people use certain skills to help them out. You're a bit of an all-rounder, really. You see some players use skills a little bit more. You don't always use them as much as some players, but is your main skill set, would you say, your adaptability, not just to the different games that come out and different patches, but also different opponents?
It's here.
Really?
Yeah, you can see it here. I know it depends on my opponent, but thank God I have a mind that can reset really quickly, especially when I play Maestro. I think I played really good because it was the first ever I played him, so it feels good.
Now, we've known for a long time that you're going to be at the FEWC, you're going to be qualifying for it. Are you starting to now think about that? Are you using games like we're seeing right here to actually go, OK, I'm going to be there, this is just practice for that World Cup?
I mean, whenever I'm at any tournament, I need to win it because I have a huge fan base and thankfully they're supporting me really hardly. So whenever I'm in any tournament, I need to win it. For me, it was the FUT Champions Cup too, more like a preparation for the E-Nations because I know it's huge in Saudi.
Talk to us about some of the pictures you're seeing here and what's happening. Describe how you're thinking at each point here.
I think I have a chance to cross to Cristiano, and he's not missing it, bro.
That made you 3-0 up. This is the second half of the first leg now. And were you surprised to get the lead you did on your opposing console?
I know I'm good at PS4 side, but let's say a 5-0 lead on the first game, it's good. But I think it should be a closer game because Maestro missed a chance, but it is what it is.
Now, at what point in this first leg did you know that you were in complete control and that you were going to win? Was it 2-0, 3-0?
I think when I hit 2-0, yeah, when I scored the second goal, I felt like, because to be honest, Xbox players, whenever they finish the Xbox final, like the motivation be less, you know, because we finished the big stuff.
Right.
Let's keep away the money and the trophy. So that's why.
Can you sense when one of your opponents is feeling a little vulnerable and that they're a little bit unsure of themselves?
I'm not sure, but I'm speaking of myself. That's what I think.
Okay, because you had a great battle against Tex to get into this grand final. You went up 2-0 in the first leg. He came back and scored 3 goals. What were you feeling at that point? You feel a little nervous because you looked a little bit like you got some cotton mouth, looked a little nervous that needs some more water.
Of course, it was a tough game, obviously. I think I didn't start it too well in the second game when he was scored 3-0 up. But I think whenever I knew that moment that I beaten him in Swiss, and also I beat him in the first leg. So why not? I can be back. It's just one goal.
Now, how do you stay focused? Obviously, you said you knew after 2 goals that you were going to be winning it, but how do you keep that focus up? Because the last thing you want to do is to be 2, 3, 4, 5 up and for your opponent to slowly creep back into the game.
The last thing you want to do, man, is to win 5-0 and he come back on you, man. So
how do you stop that from happening?
I think it depends on people. For me, I'd like to slow up the ball. For some people, they want to score more, but I'm happy with the 5-0.
Let's talk about your nation. Obviously representing Saudi Arabia, doing great stuff for them, and they've got a great fan base for you over there as well. E-Nation's coming up next week. How important is it for you, one, not just to represent Saudi Arabia excellently, but your group? I believe you've got Tex in your group of England and Maestro with France. There's some unbelievable rematch opportunities there. Do you think this, particularly with the Tex thing, this little rivalry, do you think this is going to be something that's going to keep going throughout the rest of the year?
علاش نخاف. This is a word in Arabic that why should we be scared?
Whoa,
I like
the
confidence.
So you don't fear them, and you want to go big for Saudi Arabia and try and get that E-Nations trophy?
Yeah, I've really wanted to play E-Nations. The first tournament after World Cup, like, let's say I wanted it so badly. So I hope I be on my day like today and yesterday, but let's see.
Big tournament.
So now you know you have enough Global Series points to get to the E-World Cup. How do you stay sharp from now till then?
I think in this year, thank God that we have a lot of tournaments. So I'm now, I still have E-Nations, then I have the E-Champions League, and I have the Saudi League as well. So this year you need, every 2 weekends you're out of home. So for me, it's from the beginning that I wanted to be in a good level to compete in the FIFA World Cup. And I think now, should I? I'm definitely.
Yeah, I mean, you're trying to defend your title.
Yeah,
so I'm sure there's a little bit of pressure there as well.
Let's say I'm used to pressure.
Okay, I respect that.
Now, what is it about London? We've seen you do it here before. We've seen you dominate. What is it about this great city that you just love to come here and show us how good you are at FIFA?
I won the Xbox side on LQE, but let's say 4 out of 4 in Xbox. I don't know. I really don't know, but it's mainly maybe about the crew that with me because they stay in London and my family is in London. I like London. I don't know, but it feels good.
Yeah, you've got a great record here. One thing I think we don't talk about enough with you is your age, because Texas obviously gets a lot of the headlines as a youngster. We saw Dylan Mike, obviously even younger, come up this year. But how old are you?
I just turned 19, I think, 20 days earlier.
Just turned 19, guys, right? You're only about a year and a little bit more older than Tex. You're not exactly. I think because the way he carries himself, and they're actually great answers as well to questions, sometimes quite difficult questions. People think you're a bit older than you are. You've been around a little bit as well. 3 years, obviously, competitive FIFA, doing great things. But you've got so much room to grow. Like, is this a career you want to extend for a long, long time?
I want to extend that. When I've seen myself on the top. I want to stay there. If I see myself, I'm less on the top, I'm not gonna stay there. But I know how huge it's in Saudi, so trust me, I'm doing this for them.
Okay, so you put your flag in the ground at this event that you can dominate here. If the E-World Cup is again in London, can you guarantee that you're going to win that tournament? Just putting you on the spot. No big deal.
I'll give you the answer. You never know, man. It's FIFA, but of course it would be a lot of confidence for me to be here, and I've shown that in the recent tournaments.
Now, there's been so much talk about all the different GOATs that there's been on this game. Who do you truly believe are the GOATs of this game? Come on, tell us.
I don't like to, let's say, to consider myself as a GOAT or the best player. I like the fans to choose. But I think consistency is the key. I've won in FIFA 17 and 18 and 19 majors. So I just keep it to the fans.
I don't want to call myself a GOAT, but here's some evidence.
But let me just tell you some facts about what I have done.
Let the retweets do
MS
the talking.
everybody. Let's give him a round of applause.
Fantastic.
Woo! Fantastic. Congratulations. Now we're going to turn it over to Rachel and Mike, who are over at the touchscreen. What do you got for us, guys?
Thanks so much, guys. It's so nice to hear him. He's so humble still, sitting on that couch there, which I mentioned before. He likes to call London his home. His parents live here. Maybe we can adopt him as our own one day. I don't know. But I wanted to get into it a little bit. And the fact that Emma Sassari picked the PS4 side of things first. That is his weaker console, even though he's good at both, isn't he, Mike?
I would even go as far as saying he's equal on both. He's going to be playing at the FIFA E-Nations Cup on the PlayStation. He's not nervous. He shows confidence. He chose to play on the PlayStation to start things out, and he kind of sent a message to Maestro that, hey, you going to bring your A game? This is supposed to be your home console.
Is that a skill that is imperative for one of these top pro players to win these majors?
If you believe that you're going to be in the finals on one of the consoles, then you should definitely have a second console plan. Whether you're an Xbox player and you're working on the PlayStation, or you're a PlayStation player and you're working on the Xbox, you name it. But it is important if you see yourself in that position. I wouldn't spend a bunch of extra time if you're not making it to the finals or even the semis of your own console.
That's what I was just going to ask you, because these players already spend about 10 hours a day practicing on their own console. And then for someone like Mr. Sari to be able to be excellent at both, you know, that surely takes extra time. These guys, when do they have time to sleep?
We should ask MS Desari.
I will. I'll ask him after this. But let's break down his play here, because he dominated throughout. We saw him put 5 goals past Maestro in the first leg, and this was in the first leg of the game. And you paused it here, Mike, for a reason, because I'm looking at this and going, what options has he got? Look all the players Maestro has in the box. I'm going, can he only pass backwards here?
Well, we're taking a step in kind of reviewing his gameplay, and whether you're a beginner, an intermediate, or an advanced player, this is always going to be something you have to do in FIFA, and that's going to be unlocking passing angles, especially in terms of people using the midfield to defend or chasing back, even with maybe a center back that stepped into that space. The point is, you can't be scared to go side to side or go backwards before going forwards in order to create that passing angle, that passing lane.
Calms you down a bit, buys you some more time.
Yeah, because he's looking for these 2 targets. He's got to get the ball to them anywhere in the box. Good things can happen. You can add that skill move. You can have a quick sidestep. You can get shots on goal. You name it, something positive is going to happen in terms of you being able to generate opportunities.
And he's not really stressing out either. He's 3-0 up at the moment. And you just paused it here, and I can spot a massive error already. He's manually defending using this guy when this guy has the ball. Why?
Yeah, what you're seeing here is he is switched on to Mbappe. Maestro should be using either Vieira or Ruud Gullit or stepping up with a center back. It's pretty clockwork here, too, for MS Desari. It's just another day in the office. Wide open pass. It's going to feed Eusebio, and then it's up to him to finish that 1v1. And when you're looking at some of his best traits, being clinical, it's right there at the top.
Do you think that's just because Maestro is super nervous? He hasn't got to one of these major finals before, and he's coming up against someone like MS Desari?
I think that's a fair assumption to make. I mean, I haven't talked to Maestro after the game, but he made a couple uncharacteristic mistakes. He didn't look as confident as earlier on in the tournament, and that's maybe because he's on the big stage. He already got off to a rough start against the current champion with MS Desari, and he never really got his rhythm and his flow going. And he missed a couple easy chances as well in the game.
We just broke down there one part of his game and why MS Desari won, but what else was he doing so well in that cross-console final?
I'm glad you asked. I made a little bit of a mini list. So I already talked about him being clinical and finishing those one-on-ones, but he also has a very tactical approach to the game. And I like to stress this, MS Desari is the best tactical player, in my opinion, in terms of being able to adjust formations and knowing when to press, maybe when to incorporate an offside trap or different quick tactics and just mentality changes. He has a lot of balance. If you watch MS Desari play, he's going to score goals in a variety of ways, and he also balances offensively, defensively, wing play in the middle. He gives you a little bit of everything. He's got that experience, which you saw today. The reason that he's winning so many of these finals, one of the reasons, is because he's been there before.
Yeah.
He expects to be there, and you can see he's almost giving you that confidence.
Bit of muscle memory as well.
When you get his interviews, he says, I'm feeling great. I feel like I'm at home. Like you said, London maybe is his first or second home now, or third home, whatever. You're going to make something happen. And the last thing that I have on here is his mental strength. We've seen MS Desari face adversity in many tournaments. He's able to make comebacks. He's able to generate those late goals. He's able to close out tough games where he's under a lot of additional pressure.
And let's just talk a little bit about the mental strength and how important it is, especially amongst these pro players, because if you're just looking to start in the game, they just think it's just about playing well on their console, but it's so much more than that when you get to this grand stage. You know, there's so many people in the audience. There's us guys talking about you. There's the bright lights. You know, you've got to have the whole package. Well,
what separates the GOAT tier, since we've been on this GOAT movement this entire weekend, the GOAT tier to even tier 1. So tier 1 is some of the best pros in the world, and then GOAT tier for me would be MS Desari, F2 Tex, and I'd probably put Nicholas in there. And if Megabit could get his consistency right, he might slide into the GOAT tier. He needs to win something this year, but that's their own tier there, and what separates them is the mental strength and being able to handle these situations time and time again, and combining that with that consistency. And that's what separates. That's where they're beating the guys that are ranked number 10, number 20, number 30, time and time again.
I'm just going to have one quick word on Maestro. So I've got to say well done for him to get this far. He got to a cross-console final. I really want to hear from him if we're allowed to. I spoke to him after he beat Shells, and, you know, he was super happy. That was a super stressful game for him. But just a quick word on how well he's done as well.
Yeah, congratulations. A lot of people took him as a dark horse. He won't be a dark horse in the next competition. This was a good warm-up for the FIFA E-Nations Cup that's coming up next week, where he's going to be representing France. And I feel like it's a learning experience. You now know exactly what to expect in the cross console. You know what it feels like to win on the PlayStation end as well. And that builds your confidence.
And his pockets are heavy.
Yeah,
they're going home with some extra pocket money.
A little thicker.
Little thicker, absolutely. Right then, boys, back to you guys on the sofa.
Thank you, Rachel and Mike. This is the PS4 post-show FUT Champions Cup here in London. Very exciting times. MS Desari is the grand champion. He does it again. No big surprise, really, when you look at the history of how he performs in this city. Now, favorite moments from this tournament?
So many.
There were a lot.
Yeah.
And now we actually introduce Brandon Smith, Richard Buckley. Thank you guys for joining us on the couch.
It's all right, mate.
You look
Anytime.
comfortable. You look handsome and comfortable.
It's the first time I've been here, isn't it? You've got to make use of it.
Okay, so we're talking favorite moments from this tournament. I'm going to go first because I brought up the topic. And one of my favorite moments from the whole thing was Marcuso and the save that he made.
Oh.
Check this out.
Modric flicks it up towards the back post. Pele, what a save! Oh. What a save from David De Gea, and Marcuso will be back tomorrow.
Now, it's funny when the casters are more excited than the player.
Yeah.
That's what I really appreciated.
That's what I thought. The reaction was better than...
Dan and Dan's reaction elevated the whole thing. It was a great save. It was at the end to preserve the victory.
Perfect time. It was the last
timing.
kick of the game.
Yeah, it really was.
Great drama.
Okay, so how about you, Spence?
That's a very good moment.
Thank you very much.
I'm not sure if I can trump that gameplay-wise, so I'm going to take it off piece, if you like.
Okay.
I quite like it when things that are unfortunate happen to my colleagues. And Kyle Walker had a very funny moment in the you can see it here, in the locker room, up against a Pana champion. He's put on the floor. How can they call that an ankle breaker? Isn't that what Maldini did to Jerome Boateng? Very similar.
Yeah.
Not Maldini, sorry, Messi. Maldini might have done it to someone. Kyle's gone down there, and he got hurt physically and mentally.
I honestly want to see that again. Can we see that again really quick, please, just for me? Because
slow-mo.
There's something.
Oh, I rate that.
God, he says he
trips on the ball.
He's like a giraffe on roller skates. You know what I mean? Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Oh, Kyle Walker. He's not even here to defend himself. That makes it even better.
He's actually made the man who makes a living out of not making people apologise. That's how bad it was. I enjoyed that.
Okay, and then how about you, Brandon?
I think one of the best moments this weekend was probably we saw some amazing comebacks in Swiss style, and that hashtag performance from obviously from Ryan and Harry, and more the point of Harry's reaction to Ryan equalising.
I know the clip you're talking about. Let's roll it. Oh, there it is, right there. See, Harry, you just found out that it happens?
This was crazy, yeah. So basically, he was 4-0 down, Ryan. This is when he equalised at 4-4. Look at the reaction. Bearing in mind he was already through. I think he enjoyed that more than going through himself.
So that's actually right after he just finished. So he's literally just won his game, no emotion. But sees his teammate go through it.
Look at the group hug there.
Hashtag
bundle, isn't it? Yeah.
So you picked a heartfelt one.
Yeah,
which I really appreciate.
I thought it was really good, and that just shows the hashtag team spirit there of a massive bundle. I don't know how Ryan's back's been able to take that, but he was all right in the end.
Tell you what else I like about that. Shuri continued to vlog. Don't stop vlogging. We've trained him well.
Content.
Exactly.
Okay, Richard Buckley, how about you?
I'm going back up to the commentary booth, actually. I heard a little bit of nonsense. Don't know what it meant, don't know where it came from, but it came from that man right there next to you, Jimmy.
Mr. Spencer. I know this clip. Let's roll it.
What? Will be a decent scenario for the lad who loses this game, but you obviously want to book it as early as possible. Cross comes in, Ruud Gullit rises like a salmon, but he headed it like a bee. Indeed he did. Reworked the classic Ali saying there. I don't understand why that's nonsense. That's upper echelon commentary, I think you find, my friend.
To be fair, that was up there with a Richard Buckley line.
Yeah, how does a bee head a ball?
Oh, very badly. I don't know if you've ever seen bee's head. Wasp slightly better.
But it rose like a salmon.
Yeah.
So that's the main, the double barrel, I like it.
No, because obviously it was a good jump. The jump was good, the header not so much. So you can feel free to use that one, put it on a T-shirt.
I'm all right, Tar.
Okay.
Okay, now we're going to throw it over to an interview where our Kyle Walker was standing with hashtag Harry.
Yes, I am here with hashtag Harry. Harry, initial thoughts on the tournament, your tournament so far as well?
Mine was disappointing. I've done relatively well in the last 2 tournaments as like outsiders would look on, but as yourself, you put expectation on yourself and you always want to win it, basically. I did all right, and I was against someone who I played a lot. We know each other's style as well, so we was expecting it to be a cagey game going either way. I've got the better in some qualifiers that we've met in as well, but yeah, I think he deserved it overall. There was things that didn't go my way, but he's, I think, nailed on for top 16 now, Stokes, and it's well deserved over the year. He's been sensational all year.
Now, you talked about that pressure that you might put on yourself sometimes. I talked about it on the cast, that you're so confident, you come across as the joker. But do you feel that that pressure does get to you at times when you're at these big tournaments?
I wouldn't say so, to be honest, because, like I said, I've never got too up and down in matches. I think that one was a bit different, but the things that was happening to me, I don't know, my control was going off and stuff. So, yeah, I weren't too pleased with it, but...
It's one of those things. It's one of those things. I was so positive about the way you were because I think that you actually came here and performed so well. Now, looking at some of the others, we've had all this talk about the GOATs. We've seen it all on social media. For you, seeing F2 Tex and Dasari go head-to-head, how does that make you feel?
Yeah, I think it's absolutely amazing for the esport. We've needed more airtime on the players, which has been better this tournament. We've finally got a massive rivalry between 2 of the greatest of all time. It's literally like a Messi Ronaldo in football, whichever way you compare them. But yeah, it's going to be a rivalry what lasts some years, I think. I think we've only just begun and it's only going to get better.
It's something that is really, really exciting for the whole community. People are talking about it. It's got people going on social media. What we've just seen here, obviously Dasari beating Tex on the Xbox side. Moving forward now, do you think that actually this is going to continue? Is Dasari going to dominate, or is Tex going to be at the FEWC winning?
I think the pro points on this FIFA speaks for itself. I think Tex, what will he have now, like 10,700? Dasari will have maybe around 5,000, so he's still got around double of him. Like, Tex is by far the best player on this FIFA right now, so you can't overlook him going into the playoffs and grand final. As for all time, for me, they are just neck and neck on greatest of all time. I think Dasari might be one major behind, but like people say, because he's got that World Championship, maybe that cancels that out, I don't know. But for me, it's probably still Tex, just because what he's done this year is literally just unprecedented. He's just won too much. What could it have been? I think it could have been back to back to back to back to back.
It could have been. Well, my final question, are you one of the GOATs?
Off the pitch, yes.
Thank you.
You gotta love Harry and his honesty when he gets after it in interviews. Everybody, this is the PS4 Post Show, and I'm being joined by Julian Lescott.
Yep.
How's the couch feel? We've been standing for most of the time.
Yeah, it's a bit more reclined than I thought it was, to be fair. No, it's all right, it's all right.
Yeah, and then here, we got Mark and Dan. You guys were the voices behind the grand final. What was that like? How was that calling that game?
It was fun to watch Dasari do his thing. I think he's put a little bit more respect back on his name after Tex has kind of been having his way this season. And Dasari just kind of reminded us all just who we're dealing with here. You know, he's the world champ for a reason, and that was a real statement from him.
Yeah, I felt sorry for Maestro a little bit in that grand final, because you have to go up against someone who was just there to prove a point, and he proved that point, but unfortunately Maestro had to be on the receiving end of it.
I think that what's kind of sad is that Maestro might go home now feeling a little disappointed and discouraged, even though he had a great run and got as farthest he's ever gotten in a major.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, no one wants to lose by that kind of margin, but yeah, he can take a lot of credit from out the competition. He's come here and he's beat some top names.
Yeah, you guys feel the same way?
Still a PS4 champion. I mean, he's the PS4 champion at the last FUT Cup of the year, of the season, so he should be extremely happy with
I also kind of like the reaction, to be honest. He looked really disappointed, obviously heartbroken. That shows that he cares. That shows he wants to go one step further. That shows that he wants that win. So, it was a difficult pill to swallow, but he'll be back.
Well, he's also one of the highest scoring players in this tournament. And speaking of goals, the production guys put together a little goal, let's say, reel for us to judge on what the best goal was from this tournament. Let's take a look at it now. All right, this first one, Dr. Arano versus Houston. Dr. Arano here. Ooh, that is a tasty free kick.
Cheeky little finesse shot after the short fruit kick routine. That was a beautiful little finish.
All right, then NYC FC Chris versus T-Mox here. Ooh. Oh, that is a little side netting action, too. You like that one, Julian?
Yeah.
Okay, Marcuso here versus Marco. I mean, dancing through this. That might be the one.
End it there. Doesn't get any better.
Well, we have some other ones.
Actually, wait, I remember this one as well.
Here we got Tex versus Stokes. This, I feel like has a similar vibe.
Drag back.
Just dancing. Oh my, that is just filthy.
It's how these players just chain skill moves together just to beat man after man after man and then still find the finish. I mean, Tex is just phenomenal on the ball.
This is a nice piece.
Yeah, just good footwork.
Yeah.
The double pullback. And we got Battle Cat here versus Dasari. Nice little ball up over the top.
The left foot volley from Bullet, I remember it well.
That was probably the highlight of his game, but, you know,
That's very true, yes.
But to say you scored one of those against the world champions, not too shabby. That's a great turn, and that was probably the goal that gave Dasari the belief.
And what makes a lot of these goals even better is who they're actually against. I mean, they're scoring against some of the best players of all time, scoring against Nicholas, scoring against Houston. They are the biggest and best players on the PS4, and to do it against them and to use those skill moves in those situations.
Did we miss any goals?
I mean, yeah, there were a lot of goals.
Well, there's a lot more goals,
but
we did.
More amazing ones. None that pop out quite as much as there's two in there. The Marcuso one and the first Tex one.
Yeah.
Just because of the link together of the skill moves. Like, it's just you're watching it and you kind of.
Okay, so which one are we voting for? Dan, you go first. Who's your vote?
Mine would be for Marcuso, I think, because he was built up before this tournament as the land cricketer, and he was going to link them together, and then he did it for the goal as well.
Yeah, I'll have to go for that. Just because a little drag back, couple of cricketers, it was beautiful. Yeah,
all right.
Marcuso.
Same.
Marcuso?
Yeah, same.
Well, it is his birthday. So as a birthday present to
happy
Marcuso,
birthday.
we're going to give you the best goal of the tournament, my friend. So congratulations. You get to take home that award. We'll figure out what the trophy looks like. Now we're going to throw it over to Spencer, who's with Goal Machine. Spen?
Yes, thanks, guys. Here I am with Goal Machine, Rogue Goal Machine, of course. Before we get on to talk about your championship-winning teammate, let's talk about you. How was your tournament?
My tournament was decent. It wasn't the greatest. I got knocked out in the Swiss stage. I went 2-3. I played good in some games, but not so good in the others. So I mean, in the end, it was really my fault. I played bad. So.
What are you putting that down to? Why didn't it work out, as we've seen it do for you in other tournaments, going a lot further into them?
I just feel like in the times where I needed to clutch up, like my mindset wasn't there. Like mentally, I wasn't strong in those situations, and that's why like I didn't make it out of Swiss.
It's all good practice, though, isn't it? Because you've got about 2,200 points. You've got another LQE coming up. You're in good position points-wise. Should really be in the E-World Cup final, and you've got the playoffs, of course, to help boost those chances. Is this how you're going to look at this event now as just another learning curve in the build-up to these massive tournaments?
I mean, yeah, for sure, because I've done not so great in the past couple tournaments, and from here I'll try to change up everything once I get back home and try to grind the game again, like start fresh.
Okay, now let's talk about your teammate, Rogue teammate MS Dasari. You were kind of coaching him a little bit. Tell me about your role. What were you saying to him?
Coaching Dasari.
Were you not helping us? I thought we saw you coaching you at some point.
Oh, I was coaching Lev.
Oh, coaching Lev? Okay,
yeah,
what happened there then?
I coached Lev throughout all the group stage and the knockouts. We went 8-0, and then unfortunately we lost in the PS4 console finals to Maestro in a close game, in my opinion, which could have went either way. But in the end, I'm so really proud of what he did.
Yeah, were you surprised by that in that Lev Maestro game? Because Lev had been dominant, was the only unbeaten player at that point in the competition, and Maestro just kept finding ways to win, obviously, until the final against Dasari.
I mean, I was really surprised because Maestro also played really good. I mean, Lev could have played better. If he finished his chances, it could have been a different game. But, I mean, in the end, I think the best player won. So.
Okay, let's fast forward to the playoffs and these big tournaments coming up. Who don't you want to face right now? Who's the players that scare you most? Firstly on your console, but in general.
In general, I'll probably say both my teammates, Dasari and Rasek. So, yeah, I guess those two. Also, I'll throw in Tex in there.
Yeah. How much, I'm guessing you've played a little bit with Dasari before or not? Do you guys do any kind of training camps at all or no?
Once we get to events, we just play a couple of friendlies, and I think, yeah, that's pretty much it usually.
Have you had some good results against him?
Some close games, but usually he comes out with the win, so.
Okay, well, he's a very, very good player, as we saw over this tournament. What are your aims now for the rest of the season? Where do you want to finish? What will you be happy with?
Rest of the season, I want to go to the Atlanta LQE and get at least minimum top 4.
Okay.
And in playoffs, I want to just try my best and go as far as I can, maybe win it, hopefully. And in the grand finals, for sure, just put on the show for the rest of the world. So.
Yeah, and hopefully get that name Goal Machine right up there. It's been a fantastic performance for your team all season already. How does it feel representing Rogue?
I mean, it feels amazing. Like, they're a great org, and they back their players greatly. Like, they're always supporting us, and it doesn't matter, like, if we get grouped or if we win, it really doesn't matter to them.
Okay, fantastic stuff. Obviously, see you back to your best at another tournament soon. Goal Machine, watch this space. Back to you, Jimmy.
Thank you, Spencer. And as you guys can see, I'm joined by everybody. What's up, everybody? How you doing?
Oh, good.
Oh, good.
It's pretty cozy, isn't it?
I guess only Kyle, because you got the microphone. Yeah, you get to speak for everybody. So overall, your final thoughts on this tournament?
It's just been so exciting, honestly. These 3 days have provided so much excitement, so much drama. The atmosphere has been brilliant, and it feels like now everyone's starting to come together. They've all enjoyed it, but the support for each other has been brilliant as well. And I'm just so excited to see how these rivalries grow as the season continues.
Well, just as a confirmation, let's take a look at the bracket one last time, just so we can see that MS Dasari is a man, a myth, and a legend. Here he is, 5-1 in the final over Maestro. But really the biggest match, I think, the one that everybody was going to be talking about and continue to talk about when this tournament is over, is his big victory over F2 Tex.
Yeah,
I really think that's going to resonate in a lot of different ways, Dan.
I mean, some were calling it the El Clasico of FIFA. I mean, but all that you can see is Tex is still leagues above Dasari in terms of Global Series rank.
Almost double in points.
Yeah, it's incredible, really, what he's done this season, but it's going to be who's actually going to come out right at the end of the E-World Cup.
Well, that's what gets him to the big dance, right? Once you get into the top 16, you get to the E-World Cup, and then anything can happen.
I spoke to Tex, actually, managed to grab a word with him outside. Not on camera, he was a little bit upset, but that shows how much it means to him. He was upset. #Harry was trying to console him a little bit, but he said, I have got the E-Nations next week. He's with Tom. He said, I've got to kind of, get him in the same zone as me and, learn from this weekend and go out there and show what he can do with the E-Lions.
Now, what I really like is that he has other games to focus on.
Yeah.
Right? Because he has the E-Nations Cup coming up. So I think when you're a player and you have some disappointment, getting right back on the saddle is an important thing.
Absolutely.
So, anybody else? Final thoughts? Brandon?
Yeah, amazing weekend. MS Dasari, 3rd FUT Champions Cup, wins again in London. And congratulations to him. That pretty much ensures he's going to book a grand final spot.
Yeah, lovely, lovely.
Okay, I want to hear from can I hear from Richard Buckley?
Go on.
Because he's always got something.
Just
happy to be here. I want to thank the Academy.
I'd just like to say shout out to the players who have stuck around to the end as well. Jamie, Footways Jamie, New York City Chris, Dr. Ahano, everyone who's here supporting your teammates. It's the players that make the game. Cheers, thank you.
Mike, you got anything?
Tough to follow that up. Appreciate it, Rich.
Okay, well, on behalf of the players and all of us talent, we want to say a big thank you to the sponsors, PS4, Adidas, and Turtle Beach. Let's give them a round of applause, everybody. Woo! And then we want to give another big round of applause to Gfinity and EA. They make us look a lot better than we deserve to be here on camera. Let's give them a big round of applause. And then we want to thank everybody watching at home, because without your love and support and passion, this wouldn't all be possible. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
You're the starter staring back up in the mirror. It's special when you stand out from the rest. When you know that you're